Good evening and welcome.
3, 2, 1, action.
Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Virtual Office Hours. My name is Andrew Barden, the CEO of the Kenyan Wall Street, and we have a very exciting conversation for you today. Joining me is Stephen Lokonyo, the Managing Director of First Assurance, and they are turning 95 years old, which is absolutely amazing. We're going to dive into that. We're going to learn a bit more about what it takes to have and run a company that's 95 years old and so much more. But let me pop up a 60-second countdown before we get started so everyone can join the room. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you again so much for joining us today. Stephen, thank you for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me at the Kenya Wall Street once again, Andrew.
Of
It's a
course.
pleasure to be here.
It's been a little over a year since we last spoke with you, and
Indeed.
thought given a 95-year anniversary, it was about time we talk again.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I guess before we dive into the weeds of everything, I'm curious, tell us a little bit about your position and what First Assurance does here in Kenya.
So I'm the managing director at First Assurance. I've been MD now at First Assurance for 4 years. I basically run the ship. And First Assurance is a short-term insurer, which means that we offer insurance that is not related to life insurance. So it's short-term insurance, asset insurance, employees insurance, everything short-term.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what First Assurance is about.
Interesting. And as we've said, congratulations on the 95th anniversary.
Thank you.
That's a rare celebration very few can make. I'm assuming you haven't been around all 95 years. You look pretty young.
Yeah, but First Assurance has been, and indeed, it's a huge milestone for us. 95 is a huge number.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, over 95 years, what milestones have helped you, make it this far? And what milestones are you preparing for the next 95 years?
Yeah. So the 95 years that we've been in existence in Kenya, of course, it's been a long journey. And first, we started out as a small branch office of a British multinational. That's in 1930. But the Kenyan insurance landscape has continued to change over that time. And about 1991, First Assurance became a fully owned Kenyan company.
Okay.
Of course, that was driven by the changes in legislation at that time
Mhm.
that required financial institutions, particularly insurance companies, to be locally owned. And apart from that milestone of achieving local ownership of this company, we've had other very important milestones along the way. In 2010, I did mention in my introduction that First Assurance is a short-term insurer. But in 2010, we went into medical insurance.
Okay.
Health insurance, of course, being a very important part of the insurance landscape. We felt that as a company, we needed to be present in that class of business.
Okay.
Then apart from getting into medical insurance in 2010. At that time, we were also doing life insurance, interestingly. But later, around 2015, legislation was also changing in respect of conduct of both long-term and short-term, and the push was for the separation of these businesses.
Okay.
So in 2017, we let go of our life business, which is now undertaken by one of our sister companies called Absa Life. So in 2017, we became focused on short-term insurance, no aspect of long-term insurance. But I think one other important milestone also happened in 2015. That is when Absa Bank came as the majority shareholder in First Assurance. Obviously, that was a huge step for the company because being part of a banking group, of course, gives you to a large client base, and we wanted to tap into the network of a banking partner at that particular time.
Okay.
Yes, and as a company, we've also grown over the last 5 years. We've actually doubled our top line, that is the gross written premium. We've also achieved tremendous growth in our asset base, and we continue to grow pretty fast, even faster than the average growth in the market. So we are proudly at about mid-tier now, 13th biggest insurance company in Kenya. And this has not come to us as, we don't take that growth for granted. It has actually meant a lot for this business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, a lot of companies, when they're founded,
Yeah.
and, I work with Erica Suma. I'm a founder very much in the Wall Street Africa group.
Yeah.
Companies are founded on philosophies
Yeah.
oftentimes.
Yes.
I'm curious, are there any guiding philosophies that First Assurance has had over 95 years that has helped you get, to where you are today?
Absolutely. Insurance, Andrew, it's a business where you make promises. And these promises have to be guided by solid values. And one of the things that has helped us to navigate that 95 years, as well as we have done, is the trust that we've continued to build in our clients. Claims do occur, and once these claims occur, it is really the test of your integrity as to whether you can keep your word. So we've, trust has actually been one of our guiding lights in this industry. And it is a fact that trust in the insurance industry has always been one of those things that it's said to be lacking. But I think at First Assurance, trust, integrity, our impeccable claims payment history, those are the things that have really guided our business over that 95 years.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And insurance is such a competitive industry,
Yeah.
not just here, but everywhere. So I'm curious, when you're speaking with, say, myself, maybe
Yeah.
I need to go and get auto insurance.
Yes.
I bought a new Prado or something and I need to insure it. What would you tell me that differentiates First Assurance from everyone else I could talk to in the market?
Absolutely. So what has happened recently, of course, is customer needs have continued to change. Customers are demanding a lot. So what differentiates First Assurance is first, our processes, the ease with which you can buy insurance from us. So we've simplified things. Our policy forms, our proposal forms, we've simplified them so that the common Kenyan can understand what we are talking about.
It's not endless bureaucracy.
No, we've actually broken down all those complex contracts to make it easier for any common Kenyan to understand. And I think for a long time, the complex legal language that we have used in explaining our insurance is what possibly has made it appear complex. But we've now simplified that. So the buying process is very simple. If it's a form that you have to complete, then it's a very short form. If it is, and if you also would like to buy from us online, you can just go to our website and fill out a request for insurance for your motor vehicle, and we'll actually engage. You can get a quotation, and you can easily get your motor vehicle insurance without even coming to an office of Fast Assurance. The other thing that we've also done is to partner with very strong partners. If it thing that we have invested in is the shortening of our processes, using automating most of what we do in our business. So most of our processes now are automated, which makes it easier, simpler, and less of a hassle for you as a customer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested, last year when we spoke, you had told us about some of the new products you've been
Yeah.
rolling out and such. I'm curious, has there been anything new this year? Are there any new priorities that you have that you're building upon
Yeah.
and that, we can get to those questions, we can address some of them directly and such. But continuing our conversation, digital transformation.
Yeah.
You've touched on this a little bit, how people can access insurance without having to go to a branch.
Yeah.
Now, there's been a lot of changes in, the digital presence and digital use of, insurance and such. So I'm curious, from your standpoint, what are some of the trends in insurance digitization are you following closely? And what are you looking to implement yourselves over the coming years?
Yeah. So now speaking about digital transformation, quite naturally, you will realize that the demographic of today's customer has changed quite a lot. Our customers are much younger. And being a young crop of customers, convenience for them is one of their key priorities. So, and that's why we spoke about the need to cut out that requirement to visit a branch. So obviously, the moment, and we're now using AI to also harness the data that is available, in the internet. So customer preferences now are coming through much easier, and we are now able to develop more customized products because now it is no longer the any insurance company worth its salt can no longer rely on the traditional ways of product development.
Yeah.
A product now can be developed to suit an individual's requirements. So you don't have to buy a motor product or a medical product that is basically off the shelf. We can customize it for you. So technology is changing a lot, not just the preferences, but how we develop products, how we offer services, and how we project those needs going into the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you're constantly listening to your customers. How can we improve? How can we do this? I'm curious, what is your game plan for staying ahead of the industry? Because, every other industry insurance executive,
Yes.
is planning the same thing. How do we stay ahead? Being on top today doesn't mean you're on top tomorrow. So what's your game plan there?
So our game plan is to continue investment in technology. That is number one. There is no substitute for that.
Yeah.
But second, we have also continuously invested in the right people. As it is at the moment, it is only those employees who upskill and embrace technology that will actually remain relevant going into the future. So we are putting in a lot of investment in training our staff members, not just in insurance-related matters, but how to remain relevant for the future and how to use emerging tools to serve customers. So the investment in technology, the investment in the people is now making us ready to foresee what is coming into the future. And the demands of today's customer are actually changing quite a lot. You will notice that customers are no longer happy to deal with an enterprise that is just profit-driven. Customers now want to see what real impact you have out there in the community. ESG is a big thing now in the corporate environment. So there is a lot of transparency that is being required, and in order to be able to disclose to our shareholders, our customers, and demonstrate that we actually are running a business that is sustainable, we have had to adopt modern day reporting standards and demonstrate that our products are actually sustainable and they respond to customers in the same way that it responds to the environment as well.
Okay, interesting. Now, as we both know, business is a lot about relationship building. I often hear people joke, AI is going to take relationships out of business, and I completely disagree with that.
Absolutely.
But insurance is no different.
Yeah.
You know, it is a very relationship. Uh, curious, you know, when you're speaking with your employees and such,
Yeah.
how are you ensuring and keeping up and I guess ensuring that First Assurance is building very close and very productive relationships with its clients?
Yeah. So um, it for a fact, AI machine learning is going to play a big role in insurance, particularly in claim adjudication.
Okay.
And I will use the example of our medical business. On a daily basis, we possibly process upwards of maybe 3,000 or 4,000 claims. These are stacks of paper that are filled out by our customers when they go to hospitals or see physicians, in accessing treatment. Now, all these documents traditionally have been, the individuals who are hired as claims analysts go through all these documents. But now we are actually automating this and we're using AI to do the adjudication.
Mhm.
We've got strong partners on board now who are helping us to now start to harness the power of AI. We're going through a test phase for that. And as we do that, we realize that change management is crucial. There is always the worry among staff members or employees that they will lose their jobs to technology, AI being one of them.
Yeah.
But as you correctly said, insurance is a relationship business.
Mhm.
We actually cannot wait for that time that will automate all these boring tasks
Yeah.
so that our staff members can go out there, meet our customers, engage them, find out what truly is most important to them. We have got our clients who are possibly admitted in hospitals. Instead of an employee spending time pouring through paper in adjudicating a claim, you would actually better deploy this person in a hospital, checking out on our customers, finding out if they're getting the best service and what more we can do for them. So that's just one example. So we take change management very seriously, and just letting our, bringing or taking our colleagues along so that technology, be it AI or machine learning,
Mhm.
is not a threat, but actually it's an enabler that is embraced by everyone
Yeah.
so that it can make us better in what we do and give us more time to concentrate on building relationships with our customers, partners, and service providers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the issues I've had with my bank back in the US,
Yeah.
is their entire customer care is AI.
Yeah.
And for me, some issues can't be solved by AI.
Absolutely.
You need a person, you need
Yeah.
a human to talk to. And I think this continues on my question about AI and
Yes.
technology.
Yes.
But the issue that I found was, if I even ask it, hey, please send me, I want to talk to a human being, want to talk to
Yeah.
a human being, you know, it continues with the AI. So I had found a trick where, you know, I can just complain to the AI and it'll eventually give me a human
Yeah.
being.
Yeah.
Um, I mentioned this not in continuance of my question, but almost, to just say that, I think that's also important too. You have to have that
Yeah.
person, that
Yes.
relationship uh, in place, because not all issues can be solved,
Absolutely.
by structures. There
Yeah.
are
You
unique situations.
are right indeed. There is so much that you can do in terms of automation.
Mhm.
We opened up our conversation talking about trust.
Yeah.
And trust can only be built by, a big part of it is the human element actually that helps to push trust.
Yeah.
So yes, you can automate, you can use technology to do so many things, but bottom line is that you can't automate 100%. There will
Yeah.
always be the human touch that that is required in our business,
Yeah.
you will always need to retain that. And remember that some of the insurance and most of the insurance products that we actually offer, they are not just financial solutions.
Mhm.
These are products that actually go to the root of a family, they go to the root of a business, and the response of insurance when tragedy strikes cannot be driven by a machine. These are things that actually must be driven by fellow human beings.
Yeah.
There is the empathy part. There is the the support that is required by clients when they experience catastrophes. So machines, technology can only do part of our work, but that human touch, that difference that we make in the lives of a family, in the sustainability of a business, will always remain necessary. That there will be that human touch. So that you can't substitute 100%. We
Yeah.
definitely must continue to be human and to offer solutions that actually make the most difference to either families or businesses, for that matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
imagine an AI priest. This is not very.
Oh yes.
I don't
Oh,
think it
yes.
would work out too well.
Exactly. Yeah. It can't just be clinical. It has to have a human touch to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious your leadership style.
Yeah.
How do you go about leading an organization of how many employees do you have?
We have about 180 employees. Those are our direct employees. But we've got a
Agent
large
network
agency
is
network. So we impact so many people in that network on a day-to-day basis. But yes, 180 employees.
okay. And
Mhm.
so, on your leadership style, being that the organization's now 95 years old,
Yeah.
that must have definitely been something that the board was asking about when you were interviewing for your
Yeah.
position. But, I'm curious, how would you describe your leadership style and why is that important for ensuring First Assurance has another 95 years?
Absolutely. So I would say my leadership style is collaborative.
Mhm.
I listen a lot. And quite frankly, Andrew, I'm always cognizant of the fact that I may have deep insurance expertise, but at leadership level,
Mhm.
your expertise counts for just a portion of what you need to lead. And really, leading people is about empathy, it's about listening, and it's about leading from the front as well. Because, as it were, insurance is a business that can only be, you can only believe in it by testing it out.
Mhm.
And in terms of leading these 180 colleagues and the ecosystem, I lead by example, but I also make sure that I give my colleagues the opportunity to be the best in what they do. I'm only one among equals at the workplace, and everyone is in that team because they bring a unique set of skills, values, and personality. And when you harness all these unique qualities in every colleague at the workplace, that is really the making of a strong team. So for me, it's really my leadership style. I would say it's involving, collaborative, and it's shaped more by listening out for every idea that can come through from the team and giving everyone an opportunity to shine at what they do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that kind of answers my next question, which was, how do you keep people motivated? But,
Yeah.
coming from what you've just said, I think that, answers it,
Yeah.
enabling people to use their skill set
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
be impactful, to feel
Mhm.
that impact and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, just my opinion. I always saw insurance as, it's like, oh, I don't want to work in that
Yeah.
sector.
Yeah.
But Is insurance an exciting place
Yeah, it is.
to work?
Absolutely. When you go to the basics of insurance, it's really, in the simplest terms,
Mhm.
it's just a form of risk management.
Yeah.
And I know possibly you've seen some of the campaigns that we are running at the moment.
Mhm.
And the message that we are passing is that even the most well laid out risk management plan, once in a while, it actually does fail somewhere along the way. And we know that in all that plan, in Swahili we say makosa hufanyika.
Mhm.
You can have the best laid out risk management policies at the workplace, but accidents still happen. Omissions still do occur.
Yeah.
But as an insurance mind, you must always try as much as possible to anticipate all these scenarios that then require you to be there for your customer. So insurance is very exciting, by the way,
Mhm.
and no day is like the other, because if it is not a human error, it is a natural calamity, or the most unexpected thing.
Mhm.
So it is an interesting field, and I think it's not the boring field that people think about. It is truly exciting being in insurance.
I guess that's
Yeah.
just my university stereotype.
Yeah, indeed.
But no, I think growing up for me, my first, I guess, impression of
Mhm.
insurance came from a hurricane.
Yeah.
I'm from Virginia Beach area in the
Wow.
United States, and
Yeah.
we get a lot of hurricanes.
Mhm.
I think I was about 4 years old. Hurricane destroyed about 50% of the town.
Wow.
You
It's
know,
terrible.
I know the
I
insurance
hope you were
company.
insured.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I know a lot of the insurance companies were like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna really hurt us." I think,
Yeah.
you know, that gets back to what you're saying, risk management. You have to expect, hey, if
Mhm.
there's a huge likelihood of, flash floods,
Yeah.
huge likelihood of landslide, different things.
Mhm.
You have to, take those things into account.
Yeah.
So it is much more dynamic than I guess I.
Yeah, it is truly dynamic, and I think that we spoke about technology,
Mhm.
and most the intriguing thing is that as much as technology is bringing aboard new ways of doing things, better approaches to processes, and we're actually able to run our businesses much better with technology. But as we speak today, technology actually happens to be one of the new attributes that has brought in risks that we never thought even
Mhm.
existed.
Yeah.
Cybercrime is huge at the moment. And as insurance companies, we're always trying to think about how to protect our customers based on the developments that are happening in the computing world.
Mhm.
So today, it's easy for criminals to, basically commit a heist without walking into a banking hall. In the past,
You needed
you
guns
needed
and
guns
yeah,
to rob a bank.
yeah.
These days,
You need a
all you
laptop.
need is a laptop, and you see. So
Yeah.
so these are solutions that insurance companies must now stay ahead of itself
Mhm.
in coming up with products that then address these emerging risks. So it's an exciting world out there.
So
Yeah.
so you would say l- as a leader of an insurance company or even, your middle management, everyone,
Yeah.
they should always be learning. They're forever students.
Absolutely. Yes. There will never be a time that we can say we figured out all the risks and we have all the solutions on the table.
Mhm.
We must continuously learn and figure out what new risks are emerging, so that at the least we are able to stay ahead of the risks that businesses and individuals are faced with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I want to remind everyone who's tuned in right now, if you have any questions, please add them into the comments section. We'll be getting to those here in just a minute. Doesn't matter if you're watching on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, StreamYard, wherever. Please add your questions and I'll go through them and I'll ask Steven directly. I'll even tell him
Yeah.
your first name and we can do that. But back to our conversation.
Uh-huh.
I had a question about alignment
Mhm.
in running a business. How do you align long-term vision with day-to-day work? Because sometimes those two things I have found are competing for with one another for your time, for your mind power and such.
Okay. So obviously, Andrew, I assume every business is guided by strategy.
Mhm.
So you would definitely have your long-term goals. So as a business, we've developed our long-term strategies. We're actually coming to year 4 of our 5-year strategy. So when we start out on this 5-year strategic journey, obviously it's to look at where do we want to be 5 years down the line. So it's a bit of more of a long term, but there are the tactical plans that we put together to support this longer term view. But as an individual, there is a way that I structure my focus so that I continue to drive the longer term vision of the shareholders while ensuring that the team that I lead is focused on the day-to-day, tactical things that we have to do to keep ahead of the game. So it's really about breaking those things down.
Yeah.
What must be done today and who does that, and how that fits into the longer term view. Because this is a journey, and every small bit of the journey then adds up to that longer term strategy. So it's really to break it down, single out the things that must be done today,
Mhm.
who does those things, and single out those things that, yes, they are important today, but they build up. They are the building blocks to the longer term strategic plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Now I'm going to grab my laptop and open up so that we can do the Q&A.
All right.
But I'm curious, while I do that, in
Mhm.
one sentence,
Yeah.
what does 95 years for First Assurance mean?
I think for Fast Assurance, 95 years, it's in one phrase, it's been an exciting journey of giving assurance
Mhm.
to Kenyans.
Okay.
I think I can just put it that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, we have some interesting questions here.
Mhm. Yeah.
One of these sounds like more of a clarification, I guess. It sounds like from one of your uh, customers.
All right.
So this is from John. He's asking, talking about filling in forms and stuff for First Assurance, and that it'll take to process and buy on your phone. It takes a few minutes. I'm curious, if you want to provide us with a little bit of clarity just on that process in case someone listening is keen on how do I do this right now?
Okay, so if you go to our website, we have got our proposal forms in there.
Mhm.
We've got claim forms as well. So proposal forms are documents that you fill out when you are seeking out insurance as a client. So traditionally, these proposal forms were huge documents. They could extend to 3-4 pages, asking all manner of questions. So what we've done is to simplify that form, cut out what is unnecessary, and just retain the most important information that we require from you. So that is part of the simplification process. We've shortened those forms. And for the claims documents, we've also shortened the forms that you would need to lodge a claim, but then most importantly, to also cut out any unnecessary document. For example, if you once you propose for your to buy auto insurance or motor insurance for that matter, you will have given us your ID, you will have given us your PIN certificate, you will have given us the logbook, and we'll have done evaluation of your vehicle.
All that KYC has to
Exactly,
be
all
done.
those KYCs. So when you get involved in an accident, then there is no requirement to resubmit all those documents or to resubmit all those details, because we already have those details in our database. So all you need to do is to just provide fill out a short claim form, provide a police document, just insurers as service providers. So in terms of financial literacy, that falls on us. It falls on the every government agency. We need to introduce aspects of insurance education in our school curriculum as well. But as an industry, we must take ownership of driving education of the public regarding insurance, so that we improve on literacy. And I believe that that will actually help in the uptake of more of our products and directly increase the uptake of insurance. When it comes to affordability, I think it speaks to innovation.
Okay.
So we've had products that haven't changed for a century. Fire insurance, for example, that looks the same as it looked in 1930 when we started doing insurance. But innovation would help a lot. And that's why I spoke about the simplification of products, the simplification of the buying process, and making the claims process easier and simpler. So all these would help in terms of making insurance easily accessible, easier to buy, and more people actually sampling insurance products. Then on the trust part, I think there is no two ways about it. We just have to be diligent in how quickly and effectively we settle clients' claims when they do occur. I mean, there's no other way of building trust more than your claims settling record.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess a question I have, one of the things that we've seen, especially with firms like Mkopa and others, where you can buy a phone and every day you pay, slowly.
Yes.
I'm curious, is it possible to do insurance like that? I can send,
Absolutely.
20 bob a day and I'm covered.
Well, we may not be able to break it down into daily premium, but
Yeah.
I think the time for that will actually come. And I'm happy to let you, Andrew, know that at First Assurance now we have a product that actually allows you to pay your premiums on monthly basis. We actually call it the Motor Flexi product. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact, we just got our approval from the regulator about 3 or so weeks ago, and we will be running campaigns to just educate the public in terms of how to use that flexible facility. And this is actually speaking to the difficulties that are there within our economy. Liquidity is a problem at the moment.
Yeah.
So the payment of a huge lump sum premium is always a challenge, whether at individual level or at business level. So these kind of products would help a lot. And I'm happy to say that we're already on that bandwagon, and our clients and potential customers can now come over to First Assurance, buy their motor vehicle insurance, and pay the premiums in easy monthly installments. I'm definitely looking forward to the day that it will be possible for premiums to be paid even on a daily basis, because with the kind of technological advancement that is happening now, there is no reason why that should not happen in future.
I mean, I see almost especially for like Uber drivers, Bolt drivers and such.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time in Ubers and Bolts, and I'm always speaking with different drivers, trying to learn as much, because I sit in a very different point of view of what's going on in the economy and everything than they do. And, that's one of the things I know that a few have mentioned, is like, hey, daily cash flow is a problem. Like some days, I don't even get to pay for gas. Some days it's just break even. Other days you do pretty well. Other days, it's really rainy today, so maybe it was probably a bit of a slower day.
Yeah, indeed. You're right, Andrew. The economic challenges that we face on a day-to-day basis is not going to get any easier. Looking at the developments across the world, we just have to remain ahead of these challenges. And for insurance companies, and as First Assurance, we've taken that as a real challenge to think deeply about how to come up with products that will address the realities of the current economic situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So we've covered a lot of the questions that have come through,
Mhm.
but in total, we've had well over 700 people join
Wow, that's
uh,
amazing.
the webinar today.
Yeah.
And so I want to give you a moment to give us some final thoughts that you have. If I'm tuning in right now,
Yeah.
what do I need to take away from this conversation that's going to improve my life, make Kenya a better
Mhm.
place, etc.?
So, if you're just joining now, I think it's been 95 years for
Mhm.
First Assurance. Just that would be my first comment, that it's been an interesting journey. We have provided very suitable solutions, cutting edge solutions to the Kenyan insurance public all that time. We've continued to anticipate clients' needs.
Mhm.
We've continued to anticipate the emerging trends based on developments over that period of time. Our solutions have been great, but we do recognize that for us to remain relevant, we need to continue thinking ahead based on what the changes that are happening now, the new customer requirements,
Mhm.
changes in technology, and First Assurance is up to that. Looking forward, customers are demanding more transparency. They are demanding more openness. And what I can tell our listeners today is that you can count on us to be as transparent, to always be open to you, and to ensure that you get value for the products that you buy from us. We'll continue of course, to invest a lot in product development driven
Mhm.
by needs that actually come from our customers. The days of locking yourself in a dark room somewhere and manufacturing a product are long gone. Right now, we're actually driven by customer preferences, what customers are actually asking for, and making sure that we avail those products in a manner that is responsive to the actual needs of the customer. And we spoke about the reality that we feel. We will continue to develop products that take those into account, whether it is products that accord customers an easy payment plans, or customers that are, products that are broken down into bits that are
Mhm.
affordable. So
Okay.
these are things that we'll continue to invest in. And I think every responsible insurer must go that journey. And I think, Andrew, it will not be fair for me not also to mention the impact that climate change is driving at the moment. Kenya being largely an agricultural society, a lot of what we do on a day-to-day basis is dependent on the weather. We've seen the extreme weather conditions, not just in Kenya, but across the world. Last year, I think we went through one of the most difficult, the most devastating floods.
It was about May last
Yeah,
year, I
May
think.
last
Yeah.
year. People lost their lives. Businesses were swept away. Assets were destroyed. And I think as insurers, and as First Assurance particularly, we've embraced the need for sustainability. We are developing our products that are more responsive to basically sustainable business practices. Our products going forward will reward those customers who are conscious about how they run their businesses, how basically how they respond to the communities that they operate in. And I would say that a business that brings about sustainability is a more attractive customer to us, because we would then be able to have shared values, and then that then will give us an opportunity to be more impactful as business partners. So the long and short of it, businesses must now run sustainably.
Mhm.
But as we do our businesses, we also must promote businesses that run sustainably.
Okay.
And I'll give you a very good example, very recent one, Andrew. There is plenty of a good number of motor vehicles now on the roads that possibly use, they're battery powered,
Yes.
and possibly moving away from fossil fuels.
I've even taken a number of them. The
Exactly.
electric Boda, I took one home the other
Yes,
day.
yes, yeah. So as a business, we're now thinking about how to give better packages to those kind of businesses that operate in a sustainable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been an absolutely delightful
Yeah,
conversation, and thank you to the well over 700 individuals who joined us from across the Kenyan Wall Street YouTube page, X account, LinkedIn, StreamYard. We really appreciate having you. We look forward to having you for future discussions as well. If you're interested in learning about First Assurance, they can go to your website, right?
absolutely.
Visit the
Yes.
website, visit social media.
Yeah.
You're able to find them there. Again, my guest today was Stephen Lokonyo, the Managing Director of First Assurance. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much, Andrew. Thank you for having me here. Looking forward to future engagements.
Absolutely.
Thank
Pleasure.
you so much.